Right here. Okay, everybody. Good morning, everybody. As we go to the Chumash of the day, we are holding the. Today is Tuesday. We're holding the third reading of the portion of Matais and Masay. This week, we're gonna finish the entire book of Midbar, the book of Numbers, and we are holding on chapter 32 of the book of Numbers, verse number 1. Today, we are holding right after the Jews overtaking Midian. And the Mikna Rav Hoyel of Ruvain, and the descendants of Ruvain had a great abundance of cattle, livestock. Vayiru es Eretz Yazer, and they saw the land of Yazer, ves Eretz Gilad, and the land of Gilad. V'hina Hamokai Mokai Mikna, and they saw that it was a great place for livestock. It's on the other side of the Jordan, Trans-Jordan. And so the descendants of God and the descendants of Reuben came. And they told Moshe, and they told Eliezer the Kohen, and see Ada, and to the and to and to the heads of the heads of the congregation. Verse number 3. Ataris v'divan v'yazer v'nimra v'chezer alela. Ataris and Divan and Yazer and Nimrod and Heshbon v'Ela Shvam v'Noyu v'Oin. So these were all parts of Sichain. These were all parts of Sichain. Rashi says v'Oig Hayu. These were all parts of that area. Haaretz asher hita Hashem, the land which God has struck down. Lefnei Adas Yisrael, before for the Jewish people. Eretz Miknei, it's a land that has a lot. It's good for livestock. A lot of Decha Mikna, to us we have a lot of livestock. And they said, if they find pleasing in your eyes, give us this land. We wanted to have a Trans-Jordan. We don't want to go over the Jordan. We want to be on this side of the Jordan, other side of the Jordan. Moshe said to Bnei Gad of Bnei Reuven, what is your advice? Your brothers are gonna go over the Trans-Jordan, go over the Jordan, and they're gonna fight a war, and you are gonna stay right over here. That's the nature. This is a question. Verse 7. As Bnei Yisrael, why are you discouraging the hearts of the Jewish people? You're going to put, maybe people think you're not going over because you're afraid of war. I said, no, so you're going to put the fear in the people. I said, no, Hashem, which God has given to them. That's why you turn aside, you're dissuading their hearts from crossing. They will think that you are afraid to cross because of war and the strength of the cities and the people. Verse 8, this is what your fathers did. When I sent you out of Kadesh Meir 38 years ago, Lidis Haaretz. Verse 9, they went up till the valley of Eshkel. They saw the land, and they discouraged the hearts of the Jewish people. The Vilti Bala, it's not to come to the land. And what happened? God got angry that day. And he made a vow saying, none of the men of the age of 20, for 20 and above, will see. The land which I promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Because they're not following me. Verse 12. Besides, Kalei the son of Yefunah Aknizi, Yeshua ben Nun, only those because they went after God. He called Kalei the son of Kenaz, to whom Kalei's mother bore as Anisanil. So he connected his lineage to his mother. Verse 13. The Eibishter got angry. And he made them travel in the desert Aboyim Shana for 40 years. Atem Koladera Isa Rabbein Hashem, till the entire congregation that did bad in the eyes of God would die. So actually he moved them from place to place. Nova Nud, wandering for the last 30, 40 years. We've been wandering in the desert. Verse 14, and now behold, you have come and done, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to take the place of your fathers, Tarbus Anoshim, society of sinful people, adding in wealth, you're going to create an anger against God on the Jewish people. Verse 15, because you may turn away from following him. So what's going to happen is he's going to make the wrath of God come upon the Jewish people. He's going to make the Jewish people longer in the desert. He will destroy this entire nation. Verse 16. So these two tribes approached him and said, you know what? Don't worry. We're going to build a sheepfolds for our livestock. And we'll build cities for our children. She said they were more concerned about their possessions than about their sons and daughters, since they mentioned the livestock before mentioning the children. And Moshe Rabbeinu flips it in a minute, and he says, not so. Treat fundamentals as a fundamental. And a matter of secondary importance is a matter of secondary importance. First, build city for your children, and afterwards you'll build enclosures for your livestock. But they said we'll build first for our livestock and then for our children. Verse 17, we'll go out. We will then arm ourselves, we'll be part of the army. We will go over the Jordan with the Jewish people, the men, until we will conquer the land. And meanwhile, our children will live in these fortified cities. The Ash says, we will arm ourselves quickly. We are speedily arm ourselves as a booty, as in its expression, we'll do it in alacrity. Before the children of Israel, Rashi says at the head of the troops, because these Reuben and Gad were mighty warriors. Concerning God, it says, tearing the arm of his prey together with their head. Moshe Rabbeinu too explains this to them in the second time, the portion of Eilat Vadim. As I command you at times saying, pass over the arm before your brothers, the children of Israel, all who are warriors. And concerning Jericho, it's written, the armed forces went ahead of them. They were the tribe of Gad and Reuben who were fulfilling their condition. So they were extremely powerful tribes, and they made a promise. While we were still in our brethren, it's going to be a long departure. 7 years it took them to conquer the land. But with the fortified cities all built now. Verse 18, will now return to our homes until we will now return to our homes till each of the children of Israel are taking possession of their land. Verse 19, for we will not inherit with them on the other side of the Jordan. Because we hope that our inheritance will come on the Transjordan, on the other side of the Jordan, Mizracha, to the east. The western bank. We have already received it from the eastern side. So they're asking Moshe Rabbeinu to extend Eretz Yisrael, to make Eretz Yisrael bigger, and to go on the other side of the Jordan. This was their desire. That completes the Chumash of today. We are now going to go to the Tanya of the day. We are holding Geras HaTshuva. We are holding chapter 10. This is such a beautiful Tanya these days in the teachings of Tshuva according to Chassidus. And it's really, really powerful. As you'll soon see, The Alter Rebbe gives us a teaching, a lesson in the concept of tshuva. So he explained that basically there's two levels of tshuva. Tshuva tata, the lower hay, which is a tshuva that comes through the work of a person here in this world. And then you have tshuva ilah, when a person connects to the Eibishter, not through per se his avodah, but actually from spirit to spirit. He goes in a much higher way, connecting God straight, connecting God, connecting spirit, his spirit to the spirit of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So here the Alter Rebbe explains this concept. The theme of the previous chapter was tshuva ilah, and how it finds expression in cleaving of spirit to spirit. How? Through Torah study, tzedakah, and acts of kindness. So the Alter Rebbe is explaining how we can reach up to tshuva ilah and to be able to go higher than through tshuva tata. Go lechatchila, an expression, lechatchila riba. Go to begin with over, to have a concept of tshuva ilah. What does that mean? In a tshuva ilah, a higher level of tshuva, the cleaving of spirit to spirit, through the study of Torah and performance of kindness. So we have two concepts. We have a concept of milmata lamayla, going from below to above, and then we have a concept of milmayla lamata, coming from above. Coming from above. So again, there's a way to go from below to above. That's a working of through pushing yourself through all the negative. And there's a way to go to begin with above. And let's try to go from above and bring everything down into below. So neither Torah study nor acts of love and kindness elevates a person solely as a result of his initiative and divine service. Rather, he's aided from above. So Torah, it comes from above. Torah comes from above. And tzedakah, helping somebody, also because everything in essence doing God's work. By helping somebody doing God's work. God is done him a finest lakayah. God is the one who gives everything to everybody, and you're helping him, you're giving it to him. So it goes, that's why tzedakah, not talking about tzedakah, but acts of kindness, and Torah is something that transcends one's own service. It goes something that is mamish milamayla. It comes something like you're doing something from above. It's a very powerful thing. So first of all, because an expression, just like I am kind, you should be kind. The whole will is based on kindness. And also, the will was created through wisdom. So Torah, Ugmilas Chasadim, these two concepts is a concept of, that's the three pillars, Torah, Avodah, Gemilas Chasadim. So Avodah is a service from below. But Torah and Gemilas Chasadim, the two side pillars, from the right to the left, is the concept that comes from above. And I can be totally transcend myself in the aspect of wisdom to learn Torah and the concept of being good. Whatever, if I want to be good, if I don't want to be good, I can just transcend myself in the aspect, in these two concepts. And what happens? So that the word of God actually is in one mouth. I Pashut can talk Divrei Torah. I can sit and learn Torah, and I'm speaking the word of God. Mamish, really, in my mouth. As it says, God says, I will put, this expression by Bilam in last week's parsha, I will put my word in your mouth. You say what I want to say. So if God does it with Bilam, God does it with each and every one of us. We learn Torah, we are talking the word of God. He put the word in God. He put the word in our mouth. So Torah study does accomplish much more than what man could attain on his own. Because whatever you can think and try to learn on your own knowledge is nothing that's the saying the word of the Abish, it's saying the Torah itself. And now you're saying the word of God, you're saying it through your mouth. So that's milamayla lamata. That comes from above to below. So why would he have to work so hard from below? Only try to go to begin with over. Try to go connect yourself to God on a higher plane. And it says, "V'yemini tifchatkeini." My right hand embraces me through the man's act of kindness. The chesed dari yamina, for the kindness is the supernal right hand. God says, "I will hug you through your acts of kindness." The very act of loving kindness. One draws down divine benevolence. One is embraced by a far loftier level of holiness than he could possibly aspire by dint of his own spiritual service. So here you have the concept of tshuva ilah, spirit in spirit. Oh, the matachton sarleil madrega madrega. However, a mortal man must ascend from state to state towards this higher level of tshuva and the cleaving of spirit to spirit. Through kavonas halebit tefillah. That's the avodah, the middle rung. Torah, first rung, the right rung is Gemil Sadna. It's mentioned the middle one, avodah. And avodah, where do we bring these two things together? We bring it through avodah, through the middle rung, which is the concept of tefillah. Rabbi Kishma says practically, particularly when we're saying Shema and its blessings, so she'd be able to say with truth, after I love God, with all my heart and with all my soul, truthfully, with perfect truth. That's really the question. That's really the translation. In truth of truth, perfect truth. And so too the Krishma continues and the Shema continues said, and these words above, and you'll speak in them. That's what we mentioned before. You'll say the words of Hashem. The word of God will be in your mouth. Hashem, so that the word of God, will be in your mouth, truthfully. And what is truth? The real truth is the truth of Torah. And so too when it comes to performance all the mitzvahs. As we say, you sanctified us. The mitzvahs, that's the concept of Mamaila. It's an aspect of sanctity. Kedusha, holiness. Mikudeshesly. What's the concept of Mikudeshes when they get married? We say to our loved ones, you are sanctified to me. What does that mean? Separate from all others, a holy sanctification, God, through the performance of His commandments. We become holy, we're uplifted. It's not only that through mitzvahs we change the world, we are uplifted, we become a whole different level. Which then again, that's tshuva ilah. We're trying to create a whole different level. Now we're just trying to work on the aspect, only on the aspect of the world. We become sanctified. We become separated. That's a marriage. When you get married, you say, we're united in a unity different than anything in the world. Even though we're still living in the world, but our unity is a mekudeshet. Our unity is different than anything other unity we're going to have with the world at large. We are sanctified to each other. This is a supernal holiness. Even in a marriage, that's why it's a powerful thing. You get married, and you say, we are sanctified. It's not just we're making a deal with one another. This is another business deal. We're making a partnership. We're getting together to help each other out. We are a whole different plane. We're on the rest of the world is here, and we're here. Now, every couple says that to each other. The rest of the world is here, and we're here. So therefore, nothing can affect the world cannot affect us, but we're here. The kedusha. How can anything in the world affect this relationship if we're on a different plane? If we're on the same plane, we're the same place, so now we have struggles. But if actually, we are holy. We're alien. We're higher than the world. So how can anything in the world affect this relationship? We're on a whole different plane. And that's the way the Abishter wanted. That every mitzvah puts a Jew on a different plane. To uplift the person. That is, again, that's the concept of Tshuvilah, Avila, Yireila. All these things is that the Abishter God wanted that through this Avodah, through Torah, I uplift myself. Through a mitzvah, I uplift myself. I'm in a whole different world. That's the way you have to look at a mitzvah. That's why you make a bracha. Because he sanctified me. What means you sanctified me? By me doing this mitzvah I'm going to do right now. You elevated me. You elevated me. You elevated me. I elevated myself. What did I elevate myself? You elevated me. You uplifted me. That is melamata lamayla. When I do a mitzvah, the Eibush comes, picks me up. He uplifts me to a whole different world. Lashon Pidushit v'Avdallah. This kodesh separated me. This mitzvah uplifted me to a whole different world. In a world, Shani Yachal Sabbath, the Eibush uplifted me to a place that can't even come into this world. Mishum de Kula Kamek Shivi. With ultimate God, nothing, everything's nothing. The Eibush uplifted me. An expression by Avram Avinu. That the Eibush uplifted him and showed him from above. Showed him from above. That's the avoid. That's ilah. That's tshuva ilah. Seeing everything from above. God puts us in the realm of transcendent light. Hence affects them all equal fire, so to speak. Which that is the supernal will. That's the real will. That's why the Eibush made this mitzvah. When the Eibush gave tshuva. He wanted that was the true love of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the true will of God. So here, by doing that concept, I connect to the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is higher than the will. When you put them on, I explained in Tanya in chapter 46. How you can understand how through my Torah and through my Avodah and through my acts of kindness, I push it, uplift myself. I'm simply above reality. And even after you pray, you say, you say, oh, to you, God, I lift my soul. Referring to the initiative of the worship below in raising the soul upward to its source. I'm not really doing that to again. From Lamata, I'm trying to uplift myself. I'm trying to ask God to uplift me. Take me out, uplift me. Make me holy. So as I am in this world, I'll be able to see the world in a whole different place. I'll be able to see the world from above. And that is Vahainu Listabik. Rucha berucha kolayim. I want to cleave spirit to spirit, not only I daven. I should be cleave spirit to my whole day. My whole day, through my davening, if I'm doing a mitzvah, through my prayer, I should be able to uplift myself and now look at even if I leave davening, even if I leave prayer, that's all I see the world from above. What is that? Is brought about. Like the bonus we do the thing serve to meditation of the grandeur of the infinite one. Marcus Agas through deep concentration. The two blessings before the Shema, V'sukah the Zimra, and in the prayer, the prayers of praise, V'sukah the Zimra before the Shema, before the two blessings of the Shema. Kenoida, as we did out, I've explained this in the beginning in Tanya itself. But why did the whole davening, how it's set up? So meditation in this fashion gives birth to love of God for God, which is translated into the study of Torah and the performance of mitzvahs. This form of divine service is truly law and takes the direction called milmato lamaila. It works in an upward from an initiative taken from the enterprising worshiper who elevates himself by his own bootstraps. So first it starts milmata lamaila, and then it's milmaila lamata. So it's avodah of a yidden, right? It has to come through his service. He has to have a makas hadas. He has to he has to daven. He has to deeply understand his davening. But ultimately, through his going above, the above is going to come down and uplift him, bring him up, uplift him, make him to be able to see things from above. This is a powerful, powerful stuff. It's actually in the middle of a chapter. Alter Rebbe is going to explain beautiful stuff in Mitzvah tomorrow. But this ends the Tanya of the day. My friends, today is the 26th day of the month, and it's the second part of chapter 119, the second chart, starting from the letter Mem until the end of chapter 119, and you would have done the chitas of the day. What could be better than to do the chitas of the day? I wish you all a great day by doing chitas of the day. Listen, I'm thinking to myself, amazing that we have done already Bereshis, Shemais, Vayikra. At the end of this week, we're going to be ending Bamidbar together. We've learned to get ready together 4 books. And the Mitzvah next week, we're going to start the 5th book, the book of
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Great job, everybody. I'll see you, Mitchell, tomorrow at 8 a.m.
Okay, that's a shame.
Have a great day.